Hi guys, welcome to this new class. Today we're going to learn about substitute words. These words are one and once. I'm going to learn you when and how to use them. But first, we have to learn this. What are countable nouns? Countable nouns are things we can count using numbers. For example, a dog, an orange, that are one car, that is obviously one, 2 elephants, 12 pencils, etc. Things that we can count using numbers. And what are uncountable nouns? Uncountable nouns are things that we can't count using numbers. Generally, they are liquids, powders, gases, etc. For example, tea, sugar, water, air, etc. Okay, now, how do we use one and once? We use one and once instead of repeating a countable noun. We use them to replace a countable noun for not repeating them. Now, one is a pronoun used to replace a countable noun in singular to avoid the repetition of it. If we look at these pictures, we have an example of a situation where the characters are using the word one. I've bought these 2 lipsticks. We can see that she has two lipsticks, one red and one purple. And the girl in the purple dress says, I like both, but the purple one is gorgeous. Look at this. She says, the purple one is gorgeous. She says the purple one to avoid saying the purple lipstick again, because they know that they are talking about lipsticks. So, the countable noun that we are replacing with the word one is lipstick. Now, once. Once is a pronoun used to replace a countable noun, but in plural, to avoid the repetition of it. Whose are these socks? They are a pair of socks, 2 socks. The big ones are mine. The big ones is making reference to the socks. Is replacing the word socks. And we use once with an S in the end because we have a plural countable noun. We have 2 socks. So this is plural. Now we have this phrase that we usually use in English. Which one or which ones? Which one and which ones are structures used to ask for a countable noun. Look at this. To ask, to make questions about a countable noun. In singular and plural, when we use the S in the end, when we already know the object, when we are looking at the object, or when we can see it. For example, which one do you want? We're talking about what? Exactly, about an apple. Which one? The red one or the green one? Now, in the second picture, we have the sentence, which ones do you want? But in this case, we are speaking about apples in plural. That's why we use ones with the S at the end. Which ones? The red apples or the green apples? And you already know that are apples because you are seeing them. Now, this other phrase or structure, this one or that one, they are used to express a decision made over a countable noun in singular, when we have two options and one is closer than the other. If we look at the picture, we have a girl with two teddy bears, a blue one and a red one. And she says, this one is blue and that one is red. And she's speaking about teddy bear. She says this one and that one for not repeating the word teddy bear, because we are watching them, we are seeing them. And she's closer to the blue one than to the red one. Now, these and those ones. These ones and those ones are used to express a decision made over a countable noun, but in plural, when we have two options and one is closer than the other. We can see that we have two blue teddy bears and two red teddy bears. And the blue ones are closer to the girl than the red ones are. Now in the sentence we can read, these ones are blue and those ones are red. We use the word these when the objects are closer, and those when the objects are far from us. The one or the ones. The one and the ones are structures used to point to a specific countable noun in singular and plural when we already know the object and we have different options. Let's look at the first picture, the dresses. The one on the left is more expensive. The one on the left. And we already know that we are talking about a dress, because we are seeing it. We are watching it. Now in the second picture we have the ones on the right are more expensive. The ones on the right. And we are talking about shoes. are a pair of shoes, two shoes. That's why we use ones with an S at the end, because we're talking in plural. Now we have this structure: the plus adjective plus one or ones. These are structures used to point to a specific countable noun in singular and plural, and using a characteristic to see the difference between them. Let's look at the first picture. We have two dogs, two different dogs. And we're going to point to a specific dog by expressing one adjective or one characteristic from one of those dogs. So in the first sentence we have, the big one is a Dane, and the small one is a Polly. And we know that we are talking about dogs because we are seeing them, and we are pointing to each one of them with an adjective that describes them. Now, if we look at the second picture, we have this sentence: which gloves do you like the best? The white ones or the red ones? You have options, and you are making difference by looking at the color in this case. Now we have this structure: a or an plus adjective plus one. This structure is used to talk about a countable noun in singular by using an adjective to be more specific. For example, his car is very old. He needs a new one. We use one for not repeating the word car, for not saying it, because we already know that we are talking about a car. And we use the adjective new to show a difference between the object that we are talking about and the other one. Some plus adjective plus ones. This structure is used to talk about a countable noun in plural by using an adjective to be more specific. If we look here, we have tomatoes. They are in plural because they are more than one. And the sentence says, if you want tomatoes, I have some fresh ones. We use the adjective fresh to make reference to the tomatoes, and we use the word ones for not repeating again the word tomatoes, for not saying, if you want tomatoes, I have some fresh tomatoes. No, we say, if you want tomatoes, I have some fresh ones, for not repeating the word tomatoes. Thank you very much, guys, for paying attention. I hope you liked the class, and I'll see you in the next season. Take care and bye-bye.